Alright, this is the Common Core Review, topic 3.1 through 3.5. Try to answer the questions to the best of your knowledge. Some things we have learned, most things we have learned, some things we have not. So give it your best shot. An explanation will be following each of the problems. Pedro's weekly salary is $372.29. He has $45.50 taken out of his salary to pay for insurance and savings. How much is left on Pedro's paycheck? Okay, to solve this problem, we have to do subtraction. And remember, when we set this up, we must set up the largest number on top. So, 372.29. Okay? From there, we are going to line up our decimal place and then write the 45.50. Okay? And then we're going to subtract. 9 minus 0 is going to remain 9. We can't take 5 from 2, so we have to make that a 12 and borrow from here, and that becomes a 1. So 12 minus 5 is 7. We put down our decimal point. That we can't take 5 from 1, so we make that an 11 and make this a 6. 11 minus 5 is 6. 6 minus 4 is 2. And 3 minus nothing is 3. So our answer is $326.79, which is B. Write 5 and 403 thousandths in standard form. Now remember, standard form is how we normally write numbers. This right here is word form, so we're going to convert that into standard. Keep an eye on that right there. The and, that means a decimal point. So it says 5 and, so I'm going to write my 5 and then a decimal point. From there we have 403 thousandths. Now we look at the last part tells us right here, thousandths tells us that we need 3 digits behind a decimal. And then the other part is 403. So I'm just going to write 403. And there I have 5 and 403 thousandths. A marathon is a running race that is about 26 and 219 thousandths of a mile long. What is the distance, or what is the value of the 9 in that distance? Okay, so we're looking at this 9 right here. That 9, first we have to say, what place is it in? Well, we know right here the and, we have our decimals. So we have tenths, hundredths, and then we have our thousandths. So in this problem, we're going to put a 0. And then we have 1, 2 ahead of it, so 2 zeros, and then our 9. So it is really worth 9 thousandths. Okay, the table below shows the scores for the 4 drivers in a diving meet. We're going to try and find which diver would be in 3rd place. Okay, to do this, we must look at the chart given, and we have to look for the person that has the highest score. The highest score would be in 1st place. So we're going to start here. We're going to start, we're going to look at our tens place first. The tens are all the same. The digit is 2. So we're going to go next. We're going to see a 5, a 0, a 5, and a 0. So it is between Jamal and Lewis for 1st place. We're going to go to the right. 0, 0, 5, and a 0. So that tells me Jamal is in 1st, Lewis is in 2nd place. Now it's between Kelly and Marco for 3rd place. So again, 20 and 20. So we're going to go to the right. We have a 5 in our 10th place and a 0. That 5 is worth more than the 0, so therefore Kelly would be in 3rd and Marco in 4th. So your answer for this is actually Kelly is in 3rd place. Emily buys a CD for $12.07, including tax. She gives the clerk $20 bill. How much change should she receive? Okay, to do this problem, we must put the $20 on top. Make that decimal a little darker. And put the $12.07 on the bottom. This is a subtraction problem. Okay, that 0, we can't take 7 away from 0, so we have to make that 0 a 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. We borrowed from this, so this becomes a 10 as well, into a 9. And this, we have to borrow from here to make that 10 into a 9, and this becomes a 1. Okay, now we are set up to go. 10 minus 7 is 3, 9 minus 0 is 9. 9 minus 2 is 7. And 1 minus 1 is 0. So our answer is $7.93 change. Fill in the box to make an example of the property. The identity property. First, we're going to do the identity property of addition, then the identity property of multiplication. On Edpuzzle, please separate your answers with a comma. Okay, to do this problem, we have to know the properties. Identity property of addition states that when you add 0 to any number, it remains the same. So, the identity property of addition, we put a 0 in there because 25 plus 0 is 25. The identity property of multiplication is a little different. Any number times 1 remains itself. So, 25 times 1 is 25, and that is the identity property of multiplication. What is the perimeter of this rectangle? Okay, so the perimeter is the distance around an object. It is not the distance inside, what's inside, rather it's around. The way I remember it is in a crime scene, the cops always walk the perimeter so that they don't tamper with the evidence. So they never walk immediately directly on the crime scene, they walk around the crime scene. So for this, we have to take all the sides and add them up. At first, it may look like there are just two numbers. However, since this is 100 centimeters, that means this right here is also 100 centimeters. And since this is 24 right here, it's 24 over here. So, we have to add all four sides. Then I'm going to group them together. So 100 plus 100 is 200. 24 plus 24 is 48. So my answer is 248 centimeters. Notice it is not squared or cubed, it is just centimeters when we are dealing with perimeter. What is the difference between 403,951 and 135,211? We're looking for difference. The difference is a subtraction problem. So we set up the problem 403,951 minus 135,211, and we subtract. So 1 minus 1 is 0, 5 minus 1 is 4, 9 minus 2 is 7, comma. 3 minus 5, we can't do that, so we must borrow. That 3 becomes a 13. That 0, we make into a 10, into a 9, because we borrowed from all the way over here. So 13 minus 5 is 8, 9 minus 3 is 6, and 3 minus 1 is 2. So our answer is 268,740, which is D. Which answer shows the algebraic expression for the following phrase, 5 times a number plus 3? Okay, to do this one, we have to look for a number that is being multiplied by 5 first, and then 3 added to it. Now we use n for number. It's important to remember here that when a letter is directly next to a number, that means multiply. So we have we only have two multiplication signs here. So this is 5 times 3. It does not say 5 times 3, so we know it's not C. This one says n, a number, times 3. Well, we know 5, so now we're stuck. But remember what I just said. A number directly next to a letter means multiply. So 5 times n plus 3. That A would be our answer. Alright, our last problem here on Common Core Review, topic 3A. Evaluate this following expression. The quantity of 32 plus 12 minus 17. Remember, evaluate means solve, and you must do the parentheses first. "32 plus 12 must be done first. When we do that, we should get the answer of 44. Then we can do 44 minus 17. That becomes 14, which becomes 7, and we borrow from there to the 3 to get the answer of 27.